The Havre Marina scheme is the most exciting and ambitious development ever planned for Jersey. It's a scheme that has important advantages for the whole island community, providing much-needed housing, improving the local environment, increasing amenity for sport and leisure, boosting Jersey's vital tourist industry, as well as creating a new gateway to the island. All these qualities have been outlined as important objectives in the island plan. Contained within one scheme, the benefits for the island will be considerably more than if they were implemented by piecemeal development across Jersey. The countryside is one of the most attractive and valuable assets of island life. However, in recent years, considerable areas of farmland have disappeared under housing and other developments to meet the demands of a growing, prosperous community. Jersey is in danger of becoming one vast suburb. In the last 15 years, over 10% of the island's farmland has been irretrievably lost through development, and without positive action, this trend will increase. Many people consider that if the present pattern of building continues, the rural character of the island will soon be lost forever. However, if Jersey is to remain a dynamic community, it must continue to develop and grow. The dilemma is how to accommodate the forces of change while safeguarding the environment. John Havre has no doubt about the importance of this question.
I think the island's got a lot of difficult choices to make in the next decade and those that follow. I personally believe it's impossible for a place to stand still, and if you attempt to stand still, you rapidly fall backwards. Now, the Havre Marina scheme, it seems to me, presents an opportunity for the island to move forward, to make progress, but without falling into any of the traps of despoiling the countryside or of causing some of the major problems that large developments would cause elsewhere in the island.
The consequence of development across the island has been the increase in traffic. Most of the population travel into St Helier to work. Jersey has more cars per capita than anywhere else in the world, and parking, inevitably, is a serious problem. If the attractions of living in town were equal to that of the countryside, commuter congestion would be reduced, and the countryside would be relieved of some of the pressure for more development. One of the principal aims of the Havre Marina scheme is to contribute to urban renewal and to encourage more people to live in town by creating a unique marina environment which will be within walking distance of work. In its Victorian heyday, Havre was a fashionable and popular area with many impressive and elegant waterfront houses. Although many of them still remain today, Havre has lost some of the appeal it once enjoyed. The Marina scheme intends to revitalize the area and to restore Havre to its former status.
One of the most important things is that it's going to, in my view, beautify a not terribly attractive part of the island. Havre has never been one of the most naturally beautiful beaches, and the development at La Collette and the fuel farm has certainly not helped the vista from the east at all. And I think that the Marina scheme could significantly improve that.
Apart from the advantages of providing a housing development on reclaimed land, the Marina scheme would also provide an important stimulus to tourism on the island. Many people involved in tourism feel that the industry needs to change if Jersey is to successfully compete in the future. The chairman of the Hotel and Guest House Association, Albert Abel, is one of them.
Tourism is in a healthy state at the moment. It perhaps could do better, but I don't think it'll stay healthy for very much longer unless there's some substantial improvement in island facilities.
Increasingly, Jersey is going to have to find new ways of attracting visitors to its shores. One facility that Jersey desperately needs is a new marina to attract more visiting yachtsmen to the island. Managing Director of the Guiton Group, Frank Walker, agrees.
We only have one marina, true marina at the moment. It's hopelessly overcrowded in the summer. There's a tremendous waiting list for local people to have berths there. And there's so much development going on around us in marina terms, in Guernsey, Brittany, all round France, and most recently along the south coast of England, that we're being left behind. Jersey needs to develop its tourism market, and surely a marina is about the best way of doing that.
Jersey is at the heart of some of the best cruising waters in northwest Europe. Unlike Guernsey, the island has not even begun to exploit its more favourable position. If Jersey doesn't do so soon, the market will be taken away. Chairman of the Channel Islands Tour Operators Group, Ian McFurbisher.
Everybody in this island, as far as I'm concerned, has a vested interest in tourism. 35% of our gross national product comes from tourism, and in looking at that, we must protect it. Now, in protecting it, we must improve it. And the simplest way, as we see it, to improve tourism straight away without pulling too much on the existing resources is marina and self-catering.
That is the essence of the Havre de Pas Marina scheme, the best possible use of land and sea. The site of the marina scheme is contained in the west by La Colette Walk and the fuel farm. To the north by the granite wall of Havre de Pas Beach, stretching from the end of Green Street to Le Dic. It's proposed to reclaim 119 verges of water and 117 verges of land, which would be divided by peninsulas and islands into 5 harbours. The outer harbour would cater for visiting yachtsmen. La Colette, the Garden, and Havre de la Plage harbours would provide berths linked to residential accommodation, while the Havre d'Auvergne harbour would be reserved for local yachtsmen. A lock system, the only one in the Channel Islands and able to accommodate 20 boats at one time, would guarantee 24-hour entry into the marina. Outside the lock, a holding area would provide shelter from the prevailing weather. On the reclaimed land, a broad range of housing would be built for all sectors of the community. Most of the residential buildings would be concentrated just to the east of La Colette Walk in the lee of the headland, then continuing east and south along the peninsulas and onto the islands, forming sheltered courtyards and arranged to achieve the maximum amount of waterfront housing. A landscaped hill would extend the headland, providing similar protection to that enjoyed by the buildings next to La Colette Walk, as well as shielding the fuel farm by creating a continuous green backdrop all along and above the western reaches of the site. Within the hill would be a luxury indoor sports and recreation complex, providing a range of facilities for activities such as tennis, basketball and bowls, as well as a multi-purpose gym and health club. At the most southerly point, a residential yacht club, combined with a 5-star hotel, would be situated next to landscaped gardens. At the northern end of the marina, the 2 Havre de Pas beaches would be retained with permanent water at all states of the tide. On the western beach, the existing Green Street slipway would provide another access for boating, while the eastern beach would be divided from the marina to create a sandy lagoon, perfect for swimming. An indoor swimming complex, together with underground parking, would be provided on the island between the 2 northern harbours. Finally, on the eastern sea wall, there'd be a range of facilities for local and visiting yachtsmen. All these elements would complement each other to create a unique marina environment. Each of the mews has a central view along the broad pathway to the harbour beyond. The buildings are a mixture of 1 or 2 bedroom flats and 3 and 4 bedroomed houses. Each house has a private garden with shared gardens for the flats. To achieve an agreeable variation in roofline, the waterfront housing would be 2, 3 or 4 stories above basement car parking. This allows for nearly all the housing in the scheme to have either a sea or marina view. The peninsulas and islands have been designed to create sheltered harbours, making the small squares along the waterfront very conducive to outdoor living. Here, access for the motorcar is restricted so that people can peacefully enjoy the waterfront cafes, restaurants and shops and stroll unhindered along the harbours. Centrally placed would be the market square. With its roofed hall, it could be used all the year round for exhibitions and small shows, as well as for the sale of local produce. Another important feature of the scheme would be the provision of a large range of leisure facilities, which would be available for both islanders and visitors. In addition to the sports facilities within the landscaped hill, the marina would add an extra mile to the already popular promenade, as well as providing a new indoor swimming complex consisting of 3 pools for diving, leisure and practice swimming, while Havre d'Auvergne Beach would also be transformed into a sandy swimming haven at all states of the tide. Much thought has gone into creating an environment which would allow the concepts of the scheme to be expressed to their full potential, yet would be complementary to Havre de Pas. To this end, the architecture of the scheme has been a prime concern and would reflect some of the best features of local frontages. However, both the buildings and marina construction would be assembled from components fabricated off-site and brought in by sea. This technique would minimize on-site labor and the transport of bulk materials by road. The design of the harbors, the walkways, the flats and houses, the cafes and restaurants would create one of the most attractive waterfronts in Europe, far and away the best of its kind in the Channel Islands. A place where both islanders and visitors will want to come to enjoy the broad range of amenity on offer. A very pleasant place to be. A similar type of environment has been created at Port Grimaud in the south of France. 20 years ago, there was nothing here, but the land was reclaimed and turned into the bustling marina community it is today. Port Grimaud has been so successful that it's become the model for a whole series of other marina projects around Europe, all with the same positive result. Hythe, like the Havre de Pas marina scheme, is a development that's been much influenced by the Port Grimaud style. It's also one example of the many marinas that are currently being built on the south coast of England, where it's estimated there are 10,000 berths and a further 6,000 under construction. Together with other marina developments in Europe, it means that at a conservative estimate, there are 50,000 boats within 24-hour sailing distance of Jersey.
There are more people operating boats now than ever before, and that will continue to grow. We can't accommodate them, so they're going to go elsewhere. And they're exactly the sort of tourists that we want. They don't take up hotel accommodation, they live on their boats, they don't contribute greatly to overcrowded roads, etc., and they spend a lot of money.
All of this represents a wealth of opportunity for Jersey, providing the facilities are there to tap this lucrative market. The Havre de Pas marina scheme intends to do precisely that, by turning Jersey into one of the most attractive and accessible sailing centres in Europe. The advantages of the Havre de Pas marina scheme are many and varied. It's hard to conceive of a scheme which offers so much to so many.
I think the proposed Havre de Pas marina scheme is a very bold scheme, and that's possibly one of its dangers, that it's so bold and imaginative that people will have difficulty in grasping its implications and may well seek to turn it down simply on its sheer size. And I think that would be a great mistake. I think there are some remarkable features in it that could be of great benefit to the island and the inhabitants of the island and the economic well-being of the island.
The proposed Havre Marina scheme, to me, is most exciting because as an islander, not just as a member involved in, as a person involved in tourism, it provides so many facilities for all of us, particularly to local residents who will actually be able to have homes there, to tourists who will be able to have self-catering apartments there, to yachtsmen who will have their facilities. Everybody will be able to enjoy the promenades and the cafes. And I find the whole thing very exciting from every point of view.
The Havre Marina scheme has got to be a step in the right direction for Jersey. We desperately need this second marina. We need additional housing. It's on reclaimed land. It's not going to take up space. It's going to develop or help develop the tourism industry. Yes, of course, it's a step in the right direction.
The Havre Marina scheme is a bold move forward for Jersey. We think this proposal encompasses conservation and sensitive development, improved leisure facilities and a better environment for the people of Jersey and its visitors.